Hello everyone. So it has been a week since I received my whole crystal flute in D, and I have to say that it has been a week of struggles because in my previous unboxing video, I mentioned that this flute, as compared to a Chinese Dizi or Western concert flute, is much harder to play. The main problem I have with it is because of the grip. So I have like average sized hands for women, but because this flute firstly has a very small diameter, so when I hold it, I really need to bend my thumb so my fingers pads will be able to cover the finger holes, and this is so painful. Like when I practice or improvise with this flute for a long time, it just really hurts. And another thing is the embouchure hole is very far away from the finger holes, so because I play the Chinese Dizi and usually I play the one in the D key. So the embouchure hole is here, this is the membrane hole, and this is the finger hole, so it's about this far apart. But for a whole crystal flute, you can see that the embouchure hole is over here, yet the finger hole is over here. So when you play it, it really feels like this, okay? And the reason why I made this mistake is because in the past I have only played Chinese flutes, and this is a D key flute, and how they do, like what key is this flute in Chinese flutes, is when you are playing the C in the sheet, so it would be covering 3 holes. So this is a D on the piano. This is a D on the piano. So when you hold 3 holes, whatever note it plays, whatever key this is, right? So I have this Chinese flute, and then when I was looking at the Irish flute, this is an Irish flute because it's designed to be, a Celtic flute. And how they do the keys is actually when you hold all of the holes, the note we produce is what key this flute is. So it's a D. So this is the D key flute. So what a D key flute in the Chinese context is very different from what a D key flute in the Irish context. And I have to learn this at the cost of almost 200 Australian dollars. So I would just have to say that as compared to a Chinese D key flute, an Irish D key flute is different. It's much longer, and it produces a much lower sound. Okay, so there goes the first part of the video. I hope after watching this you won't be making the same mistake as I do, because it's expensive and hard. So this is the next part of the video. Is I'm going to talk about what I have done to overcome the grip issue of this flute and to properly produce a sound. So in my unboxing video, I struggled to play a sound on this flute, and because my fingers were struggling to cover all the holes, well, one of my friends who actually plays the Celtic flute, he taught me to stretch your fingers before you're playing, which I did. And also I noticed that the first thing you can do is, because in the past I have been a Western concert flute player, and my teacher can't emphasize enough that the flute, it needs to be parallel to your lips so you get the optimal embouchure like this. And she's absolutely right. However, with small hands and this very tricky flute, if you try to do that, then you are just gonna end up with really stretching your muscles and, doing this. Yet, of course, it gives the optimal sound, but it's definitely not an optimal posture. So I noticed that if you play it at an angle and you do an offset embouchure like this, so when you play at an angle like this, offset embouchure, instead of perfect parallel inline embouchure, your fingers and your arms will, just extend to this extent, not like this. So you'll be just playing like this, right? So that was just a bit of improvising. It's not anything, but for the embouchure hole, because it's quite big on here, so it's actually quite forgiving. So when you do this kind of angle thing, the effect on the quality of the sound is minimal. And also another thing, because the diameter of this flute is so narrow, so my thumb has to bend, right? So I just came up with a solution. You just made a padding between the flute and your thumb. So I happen to have this piece of sponge that I got from karaoke for covering the mic, but it's sponge, which means it absorbs sweat and also it's soft. So what I did was actually to fold this sponge, so it creates a padding between my thumb and the flute. So when I hold it like this, then it would just like, it's like increasing the diameter of the flute at the place of the thumb. So it would be my thumb would just need to bend less. So when you couple the two techniques, which is the angled and offset embouchure plus the padding for the thumb, it would make playing this Irish flute or the whole crystal flute in D a lot easier. So it was a Chinese styled improvisation on this flute. So because like objectively speaking, despite the tricks that I have just done, it's still quite far apart, and I tried what they said you can do a piper's fingering, which was using like this section of the finger to cover the hole, so it can be like this instead of being like this, right? I tried doing that because it works for some people, but it definitely doesn't work for me because my fingers are skinny and the holes are quite big, so I still need to adjust to it in order to play fast-paced pieces like Irish pieces. But at least when I use the thumb padding thing and the angled embouchure thing, it would make playing this flute significantly easier. And lastly, if you do not have large hands, maybe consider getting a smaller model of this flute, because even though I do this angle sort of thing, a thumb padding, it would still feel like my muscles are a bit strained after like 15 to 20 minutes of playing. So yeah, that's basically my personal perspective on someone who's been really spoiled with the design of Western concert flute, because it's just so ergonomic and it has all the keys, and all you need to do is to just blow the air in and it does the job. Or because of Dizi, you know how they are mostly like more high pitched than this, hence the embouchure to fingering wouldn't be such of an issue for me. So I hope the content of my videos help with your playing of Irish flutes, especially the glass flute. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I also do my original compositions on my channel. Please check them out. Thank you so much.